Hello and welcome back to After the Movies, the show where you come watch the show after you've watched the movie. So in this case, I need to remind you that yes, there will be spoilers! Just after the movies, we do spoilers. That's what we do. We do that.
Star Wars.
We're doing Star Wars tonight, and
Star Wars.
I went to get a t-shirt, because for some reason I do not own a Star Wars t-shirt. And we went to 3 different locations that all claimed to have Star Wars merchandise, and none of them had it because, well, it's the holidays, and, well, also the movie just came out, so...
Yeah, you're screwed.
I guess I can't really blame anyone except for myself. I went online to try and buy some stuff, and they were like, nope, we're not shipping anything till, like, January. So I was like, well, whatever. Okay, so that's my sob story as to why I do not have a Star Wars t-shirt. But, like,
You know it's not a sob story?
What?
Star Wars Episode 7.
Well, I mean, there's that too. So, Star Wars Episode 7. While I was going to talk about my t-shirt, I guess Jonathan here wants to get on with the show.
Star Wars Episode 7!
No t-shirt. Yeah.
It's the 7th one!
Okay, so this 7th one here, just to get it out in the open before, like, should I keep watching this thing? Is Star Wars 7 Force Awakens any good?
Yes.
Yes. Good. Okay, now you can watch the movie if you haven't. If you haven't watched the movie, stop watching and go watch it now. Okay, so what was so good about it in your ever so humble opinion, Jonathan?
My ever so humble opinion. The thing about this, first and foremost, is again, trying to figure out how or why this happened is going to be a bit more tricky, but specifically, this movie feels like a Star Wars movie.
Which is nice, because we haven't had one of those for like 3 films.
Like 30 years some, right? It's been a long time.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. It feels like the old trilogy. And we kind of knew this when we started seeing the trailers. We're like, oh man, yeah, good vibes. This is making the vibes feel a little bit more like this.
Well, except for I watched the Honest trailer, and they were like, remember that you felt pretty good about this during Phantom Menace trailers too. And I was like, yeah.
Right. We all have to go see it. But that's the thing. That's the important part. It's like having gone through it all is very much a Star Wars movie, true to the old form. Like, Star Wars is back. It's modernized. It's got some different things going on in there, but it's very much Star Wars that we remember and being revamped, right? And that's what every Star Wars fan has wanted for a long, long time. So it's nice.
Yeah, I'll agree with that, absolutely. But for me, just tiny little nitpicks. I would say that them shoehorning everything in, like there's so many times where it just so happens that the original Star Wars character shows up right here, oh yes, because of course Han Solo was totally right there and just about to get the Millennium Falcon before they took, so it's like we'll just shoehorn that in. But you know what? I don't care, because the movies are, they're a little tiny bit cheesy, and that's okay because it fits that kind of Star Wars universe and stuff like that. The other thing that just bothered me right at the start was for some reason the Stormtrooper helmet dimension felt weird. And I haven't gone back to watch the originals to see if anything has changed, but seeing it in its really sharp, crystal, pristine, polished, it just felt wrong. It felt off, and I don't know if that was the lens or whatever, but right at the start there, during that very first scene where you come in, you got all the people, and they're trying to get the part out, and they're done like that. I was just like, oh, I don't know, it just doesn't feel quite right. So for me, the very start of the movie didn't feel quite like Star Wars.
The very start of the movie, I had this stupid grin on my face the entire time.
I don't know what's wrong with this guy.
And stormtroopers freaking coming in to storm something for once.
Hey, that's nice.
It reminds me of that first Star Wars movie where they burst through the door and started kicking some booty. same sort of deal, only
and they actually killed some people, which was pretty impressive. In the original. I
know, they didn't miss every single shot.
They didn't miss every single shot.
I was like, he's like, kill all of the civilians here. I'm like, they're just gonna miss.
But the people were stationary, sitting on the ground, and they were able to shoot them, which is pretty impressive, I guess.
See, that's the thing. The beginning of this movie, pretty much. So I've seen it twice now, guys. I saw it twice, and not trying to get too into my personal experiences because the first experience was not as good to me as the second experience. Just from
maybe I just need to watch
theater
again.
Viewing experience to some extent and other things, and some there's so much pressure on it. You're like, I want it to be so good. But my first time watching it, I had a stupid grin on my face the entire first act of the movie. I was just super happy about everything that was happening. It's like stormtroopers, guys.
Star Wars.
Oh, dude, come on! You gotta tell me that in that first scene when Kylo Ren is talking to the guy and Poe shows up to shoot him, and he just turns around and stops the bolt in midair. Come on! That's some Force awesomeness we haven't seen.
Which
Like,
I will say that is something I love about the Star Wars is that they continue to build on the Force mythology, right?
Mhm.
Like you now have two new abilities that we haven't really seen before. I mean, we've seen Darth Vader deflect bolts before, but to stop one and then to go about your business with it still stopped until you decide, you know what, I just don't care anymore. Like that is cool. And then also being able to read minds,
which leads to a really good sequence, actually. So,
yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing. I mean, being geeky, being a Star Wars fan, we could go through this movie literally minute detail by minute detail and be excited and or upset about whatever, right?
Yeah.
So let's try to do this in broad strokes. I'm just gonna try. So like in broad strokes.
Yep.
All the new characters, pretty much, I like a lot. Like all the new good guys, I like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
The new Kylo Ren, I like a lot. Supreme Leader Snoke can go away. I don't care. I don't care about him at all right now. I mean, hopefully things will progress and I'll care, but right now I'm like, whatever, dude. General Hux was okay. He was okay, all right? But for most part, all the new characters, for the most part, were great. Loved it, okay? But I'm going to now hit that with some gripes, okay? I do have some gripes. I do have some criticisms, some things I'm noticing, okay? The biggest gripe I have with Star Wars Episode 7 is essentially this is a introductory bridge movie. It has got 32 years of time has elapsed, which means 32 years of exposition that we don't know as an audience, right?
Nope.
And you don't necessarily need to know everything, but we care about certain characters like, I don't know, Han Solo, Leia Solo, Organa Solo, I guess, Luke Skywalker, and others, right? And so we want to know what's been happening. What have they been doing? And we get hints at it. We get some things. We don't get a lot of information, right? The new characters, they're really fun and exciting, but they're seemingly shallow. And why? Because we don't really get a lot of information about their past either. Like, so we hear that Finn, we know that Finn was a stormtrooper dude. We don't know who his parents were, where he was taken from. Why did he turn? Like, why did he turn at all? Why would you do that? Why, if you're being conditioned,
right?
Would you ever think to yourself, this is wrong, or I don't like this?
Yeah.
Don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
Still a good movie, and that's the thing. That's the thing I want to say with all my gripes. This is still a good movie. This is still a very enjoyable movie. I'd even argue it's more rewatchable than the original Star Wars. I will say.
Send us your hate comments below.
Also, the original Star Wars, particularly the end of the original Star Wars, the Death Star trench run, is far superior, I would say, probably than any one part of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sure. Yep.
And that's the thing about it. So, original Star Wars, I get bored during Tatooine. I'm sorry, I just do. Like, I'm tired of watching the robots walk around for a while. I'm like, let's go, let's find Luke. Okay, he's whining. Let's go. Let's find. Okay, let's go. But that's just me a little bit. But when you get that Death Star trench run, it's awesome. It's really, really good cinema. And Empire Strikes Back and Honor are some of my favorite stuff. So I like all those movies. But when it comes to rewatchability, just like pure fun, good pacing, don't get bored, but you're just having a good time, this movie nails it. There is no real moment in this movie that makes you go, what's going on, or I'm bored, or anything like that. It does slow down a little bit here and there for the Maz Kanata Cantina a little bit, but it's not terrible. It's not bad. The second time watching it, it was a little better for me because there's more information that made more sense to me, okay? But all that being said, this movie's got so much information it's trying to get across. From 32 years that all these fans are rabid about knowing what's been happening. And we get hints and glimpses. We get surface level ideas of who these new characters are. And we enjoy it and we watch and we get to see, we know about Rey and who got left and we know she's somehow, she's being called by the Force and the whole Jedi thing. And it's cool, but it's pretty surface level. The other thing I heard, I kind of agree with this. She's kind of a Mary Sue, I guess is what it's called. Like she's kind of a well-rounded, already good at everything character. We find her, she's scavenging well. I mean, she's getting screwed over, but that's an external problem. That's an obstacle against her, but that's not a flaw, right?
In fact, that obstacle allows us to see her character such that she's like, you know what, I'm going to do the right thing, even though I could, like, make off with a bunch of bread right now.
Right. And she does a lot of good things. And I'm not saying she doesn't have character. She definitely has character.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying it's bad character. What I'm saying is there's no, like, flaw yet. Right? We haven't seen.
There's nothing for her to grow through.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's nothing quite like that for her. or really, I mean, well, Finn at least has like this whole cowardly thing going on, which kind of makes sense, but you're also kind of like, again, you kind of want more information, like, okay, so what's really, like, why have you even started this trajectory? And Poe's just cool and awesome, and that's kind of it. Like, we don't really know anything else, but Poe's just really cool, and I like that. But again, even though I like all these things, you can tell they're surface level. And why? Because I don't think they have time to go into it. And it's kind of, this movie is an introduction to these people, and a kind of a bridge reminding you of these old characters that you loved. And it plays, yeah, but it plays every single, like, it has a bunch of the big moments of the original trilogy. All the big things you want to see again from the original trilogy happen in this movie. Trench run, done. Happens. You want that Death Star-like thing? Starkiller Base. By the way, from a just from a pure logical standpoint, guys, you made a bigger Death Star. When has that ever worked for you guys? Like, it's never worked. Ever.
I mean, you know, the 2 times, yeah.
I mean, at least they used their one shot to take out the Republic fleet.
I mean, that's
you're going to get one shot. That's all you're going to get, but you use it well. Anyway, so you get the Death Star basically again. You get the trench run. You get Empire Strikes Back, confrontation with the bad guy, lightsaber duel. We didn't really get that. You get 2 masters going against her, but we didn't get our main hero confronting that until 2, and that was a really big thing. And of course, the I'm your father moment and all that kind of stuff. We got, shall I say, familial relationship reveals in this movie, which is Empire stuff. We got, and all Star Wars really. Yeah. We got
and hints of more coming. Yeah.
We got those kind of lightsaber battles that felt very similar, even the way it was. It's dark, and that vibe is similar to that same room. It's different. It's different places. I get it. It's all different, but it's all the same. That's the whole point.
It's good times.
Millennium Falcon chase with TIE fighters chasing it with the quad. We only got that once in the entire series. And that was the first movie. And so it harkens back mostly to A New Hope, but it has moments from all of it. Monsters, we don't really see monsters until Empire or really Return of the Jedi with like the Rancor and stuff like that. And the Sarlacc pit, which even if you don't like it, like it's a thing. And
way cooler before they messed it up with CG.
Most things were way cooler.
Seriously.
But you got the Rathars or whatever. Like you got all these callbacks. And that's kind of what this movie is. So it's a lot of fun. There's nostalgia. It does stand, I think, on its own right. I'm not sure how good it would be on its own right without all the knowledge we have, but it's still a really enjoyable ride even then. It's good. It's a good movie. But it's very much this introduction, this broad sweeping, like, boom, that's Star Wars, and you're like, yeah! And immediately, all I could think was, I really want to see 8. And of course, they want you to feel that way, and there's cliffhanger stuff to do that, but why do I want to see 8? Because I know, if it's going to be any good, that's the episode, that's the moment where it's not going to be the broad strokes and just nostalgia anymore. Now it's going to be, who are these characters really? What's
dig into them.
What's really going on? What's the depth of the situation? Why? Questions being answered, at least majority.
Let's hope so.
Going deeper, at least, right? That's what's probably going to be happening. So I really want to see 8 from that perspective. But 7 is a really, really fun movie. A lot of really cool things happen.
I will say for me, probably the most fun moment that I had was when you have those first X-wings come in over the lake, and then they're flying, and you're actually following them around. But at the same time, you're often like the camera's passing off between like this X-wing that just blew up a TIE fighter was just smashed in the ground, and now we're on the ground and we're watching that. But still in the background, you see the X-wing like take out 1, 2, 3, 4. Like
second time going through.
Awesome.
First of all, I love that shot where it's on the ground and Finn just watches Poe fly, which, again, I don't think I've ever seen, I haven't seen every movie, but I don't think I've ever seen a better shot to, in one shot, explain that guy's an ace pilot. And this movie does it. I counted this time when I watched it the second time. He takes down 10 TIE fighters and 3 stormtroopers. That's what he does. He takes down 10 TIE fighters and 3 stormtroopers in one shot, and it's awesome, right?
Yes.
And now all the words of he's this great pilot, you're like, yup.
Yes.
Yup. No doubt.
Definitely a good pilot.
He's the best pilot. No crap.
Yeah.
So there's lots of awesome filmmaking stuff like that. I mean, one of my favorite first moments that was really fun was the reveal of the Millennium Falcon. That's a junk ship. We gotta go over here.
Well, and the fact that you don't even get to see it is just great, right? Yeah, you're setting this up, and you're like, oh, what junk ship is that? And then junk is good, and then they turn, and then
Falcon. You're like, that's awesome.
And then she's like, didn't you make it in like 14 parts? 12! That was so good. That was so good. I will also say, and I don't know what it is, I'm a huge fan of the new Tomb Raider games. I'm so looking forward to being able to play it on Steam. Microsoft. Okay, whatever. But there was something about Rey that really reminded me and harkened for me back to Laura. Where you've got Lara and she's totally competent. She's really good at what she does, and yet she doesn't have this like false male bravado that all of us guys are like, oh yeah, I could do that. She's actually like having to psych herself up and do that, and I feel like I felt that way with Rey as well, where she is totally competent. She's awesome. She can kick butt. She can do what needs to be done. But at the same time, there is this like self-discovery of just how powerful she actually is and what she can actually do. And I liked that from a character standpoint. I'll also say that BB-8.
Oh, I love BB-8.
Okay, BB-8. Like when I first saw the first trailer, I was like, a soccer ball? Really? Come on, guys.
Yeah.
So I was really upset about BB-8 before I even knew his name. I was just like, that thing annoys me. Okay, it annoys me. And then as the movie went on, I was like, okay, I'm not being annoyed by it. But what was interesting was I felt like I was experiencing the R2-D2 character, but without the nostalgia attached to it. Because with R2-D2, when I see R2-D2, I think about all the experiences I've had with R2-D2. Mm-hmm. And seeing this new robot that like has a personality, but it's not totally, not totally clear to me, that was interesting. Like it was an interesting experience to go through, kind of learning to like BB-8 and be like, actually you're a pretty fun character, and to even have a lot of the same echoes between the original films and this one with that character, to still go on those same arcs. That was all good. So I would say good job with BB-8.
BB-8 is awesome. I think the one moment that sells you if you weren't already sold from the beginning of the movie is the thumbs up. When that thumbs up happens, there's not a person in the theater who's not like, that's kind of awesome.
Yeah, I also love it when BB-8 like falls through the hole and lands on Finn. It's like, oh, that was awesome. I like that too.
And it goes on and it goes on and it goes on. I mean, thinking about okay, let's get into, since we're spoiler free here, or not spoiler free, but like we're allowed,
giving you spoilers.
We're allowed to go. So
because you've seen this movie,
dude. So there's the big moment of the movie, obviously. The big spoiler, if you will, which I honestly saw. I mean, a lot of fans I think saw this coming long ago. We all know that Harrison Ford wanted the character to die at the end of Return of the Jedi, and so him coming back was kind of like, I bet he dies. Why else would he be in this movie?
Right. He's like, I hate Star Wars. Yeah. Right.
But he doesn't really. He just wants to. Anyway. So
just get me out.
So
Guido.
He does a great job. Harrison Ford does an excellent job of making Han Solo just be Han Solo again, only older. It's excellent. It's wonderful. I like that the Kylo Ren is the son, and it's a different kind of. It's not a Force, Skywalker legacy thing. It's more of a, I am your father, even though I mean, the line that always gets me is Leia's like, you're not or Luke's a Jedi, right? He's like, Luke couldn't do it. How could I do it? She's like, Luke's a Jedi. You're his father. And the weight that, and I love that line. Like, that has a lot of weight. That has more weight than the Jedi thing, right? And you're like, yep, that does. Great stuff, right? So, of course, he goes and he confronts, and there's the whole, Kylo kills him, like, no duh, it's going to happen, right?
But there is that moment where the filmmakers let you, like, maybe he is getting through to him, which, for me, sets up really well what I think could be a fantastic arc for this character, where you've got him struggling with the light side, and now you've got this father figure who, like, is like, hey, I'm here for you, and he's like, thanks! And, like, there's something about that is probably going to come back later.
Well, of course. And just again, from a filmmaking standpoint, the way they set up that scene, it's the bridge, right? So it's very much the two characters. There's a beam of light coming in, which is from when Rey and Finn enter. So there's a beam of light coming in, which is the sun, which of course is Starkiller Base, which is a ticking clock for more ways than one. So it's a ticking clock for the actual, like, they're charging the weapon, but it's also a ticking clock for Kylo. Right. And it's like, as soon as that light disappears, he goes to the dark side fully, right? That's the whole thing. It's all there visually. It's really well done. Han does, Harrison does a great job. Han dies. It's sad. Chewbacca kicks some ass right afterwards. Great. Just awesome, right? All good stuff, okay?
Yeah.
It played for me a little bit better the second time emotionally, but I wasn't, like, I didn't, like, tear up or anything. I was just like, oh, man. But I'll tell you what. There's one moment that's gotten me pretty emotionally pumped. Close to tearing up the two times I saw it. And that one moment is later when they're in the forest and Finn tries to fight Kylo and gets his butt kicked, right? Which should happen. Shouldn't be any other way.
Right. Stormtrooper versus
Rey. And so that's the thing. He like slices Finn up the back. Finn goes on the ground. You're like, oh dang! Like, I knew he was gonna go down, but dang.
Yeah, that had to hurt.
And then he
new spine in the next movie.
Yeah. he puts his lightsaber away and goes for the Skywalker legacy lightsaber, right? Which, as soon as you saw it go in the snow, you're like, someone's force pulling that thing.
Totally.
Someone's
Force
gonna do it.
pull. Yep.
And even though I kind of saw it coming, especially when he started reaching for it and nothing happened immediately, I was like,
Yep.
okay, I know what's going on. But still, even seeing that coming, the moment where it's like he's struggling with it, and it goes right past him, and
Yep.
she catches it, and the music, like everything goes way low. There's just like a little bit of atmosphere, and basically that classic Force theme shows up. Oh my goodness, the amount, like I tear up. I'm just like, that's awesome. It's so good. Now, I have issue, like I remember the first time, it made more sense the second time, but she's got like this. She's so competent. Like, how is she able to win? That seemed really strange to me. It's like I thought for sure that Kylo was gonna like cause her problems, and Luke was gonna have to show up to save her, or something was gonna have to happen to like push that away because she wouldn't be able to win because she's a novice. She's never used a lightsaber. I know she's getting the Force and stuff, but there's all these theories, and there's like the flashback suggests that she was a Padawan, so maybe she has more training than she realizes, and she's clearly like, there's something going on. She's a Skywalker or something. She can't.
Something.
Right.
Her midichlorian count is off the charts.
Right. There's all this. Hey.
It's
Anyway.
all true. All of it.
No, the pickles didn't happen. So I'm back and forth on it because the filmmakers have been saying that Kylo Ren, they wanted to give him his origin story too. So this isn't him fully formed as like a Darth Vader is fully formed as a villain. This is him forming as a villain. So interestingly enough, I wonder how much his arc might be more interesting to some extent because he does get his ass kicked, right? From a girl that he didn't expect to kick his ass.
I mean, he did say, the longer that she's out there, the more powerful she's going to get because she's experimenting. But still,
and it's the other thing is, it's like he's technically the heir to the lightsaber, right? It is his right in a lot of ways. He's turned to the dark side, but still, as a family line thing, it's his right, and it goes right past him to this other girl who may be a Skywalker. We don't know yet. That's the major like no duh thought.
Yep.
But it also might be that she's somebody else. We don't know necessarily yet, right? Because it's this other person, and she has the right to it, and she kicks his ass with it, right? He's broken, scarred, almost almost killed, right? And then Deus Ex Machina saves him from it, right? And so he's formed.
Yep.
And suddenly, his character is going to be really interesting again in what? In 8. Like, that's the thing. I'm like, all I can think of is in 8, there's a lot of potential with Rian Johnson, the man who wrote and directed Looper and Brick alone is a qualification enough for me to be excited for 8.
Yeah. Let's go. Yeah.
He's going to do some awesome stuff. But the Empire Strikes Back, essentially, of the series, that the potentially darker one, we don't know what. Like, wherever he's going to go, it could be really interesting. Kylo Ren could probably really come into his own and be a real badass now, and like.
Actually a bad guy. Like really bad.
But I still like Kylo. That's the other thing. Kylo was a lot of fun to watch. I like his mood swings, little anger fits, his immaturity. I like his voice.
It's very interesting to see him kind of being the Luke Skywalker of this new one, but now from the dark side of things.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, that's a fun way of doing things.
And the whole thing is, will I be seduced by the light?
Right, instead of seduced by the dark side. So yes, I like the mirroring. It's the whole rhythm thing, the echoing and all that. That's all fun. I will also say that I just completely lost my train of thought as to where I was going. Oh, there it is. Okay, so bringing in these new Force abilities and the mind reading thing. And then I was thinking, okay, well, but you also have this mind control thing. So you've got Rey sitting there, and she's like, "You will, and then he's like, what was that?
Tricks, kind of mind control.
Mind tricks stuff. Okay, but what was interesting was I had recently watched Jessica Jones.
That's real mind control.
That's real mind control. But to have the light side with the ability to trick people's minds so they do what you tell them to do, and then have the bad guy in this other show like use mind control. I just thought that was a very interesting thing, having had that just connected. So I thought that was interesting.
You just pulled the connection from Jessica Jones to
Star Wars. That's what I did.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thankfully, so far, no one's used a Jedi mind trick to make somebody do horrible things like in Jessica Jones.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Okay, so back to Star Wars. I'm just trying to finish up here. There's just so many different things going on, but that's
so much stuff.
My big stuff is it's a lot of fun. It's really good. At the same time, it's really surface level. It's really introductory, really bridge movie. And all I can think is like, dude, just get me to 8. Like, get me to the real good stuff. I want to see how all this really starts to deepen and become a real a movie in its own right, kind of its own saga in its own right. That's the interesting thing about it. So the characters are a little surface level. but they're interesting. I still like them. They're still
Yep.
and the way they introduce them and the things they do, like with Rey, and the way we just begin to care about her is stuff like the bread thing and the scavenging and like putting that helmet on. Why? Because this is a movie by fans for fans.
Yep.
And every fan, the helmet thing is totally fan service.
It's awesome.
It's the way to make the fan feel connected. Because why? Because every fan's wanted to do that or has done that, right? Every fan's been like, yeah, dude, I'll probably put a helmet on. I've been chilling and just like put a helmet on and hang out.
Well, and what's great is that it's because she's kind of a fan of the mythology, but she doesn't know it's true yet. So there's this like, is this going to be good? Like, there's so many good tie-ins to our personal experiences when she does that. It's good. It's
yeah,
good.
and you can do the analogies of like how the series is coming back, and like the whole thing is she's your new fan who's like heard about Star Wars and it's just wrecked all over the place because the prequels came through and destroyed everything. But there's still like remnants of the
like
old
spaceships smashed into
there's still the remnants of the old good stuff, you know. You can pick those things out. They're just old and
they'll only give you a quarter of a ration for it.
You know,
like,
and so you've been waiting for the real stuff to happen, and then you find the Millennium Falcon.
That's finding the Millennium Falcon. That's good. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you guys for joining us for this edition of After the Movies. Hopefully you guys are enjoying Star Wars as well. Leave your comments. I read somewhere or saw something that somebody said this was the most boringest ever, and I'm like, whatever. So if you happen to agree, tell me why in the comments and stuff.
Yep.
Thanks so much for watching, and we will catch you next time.
Bye-bye.